A lot of statistics in my last couple of videos. So here's another one. It's more like a poll, but I'm giving you the statistics from the poll. This one's from Gallup polls. They surveyed people to see if they believe that there is a God. Not if they serve God, but if they believe that there is a God. And they came up with this. 81% of Americans believe that there is a God. But that is a 5% drop from 2017, where 87% believed there was a God. And then even further from 2011, where 92% of Americans believe that there is a God. And if you want to go back even further to the 1950s, 98% of Americans believe that there is a God. And so we are seeing this steady decline in people believing that there is a God. And the biggest drop out of any of the age groups were from your 18 to 29-year-olds, where they had a 10% drop from the last poll from 5 years ago. And every other age group was 5% or less. And then the group, that would believe there isn't a God the most would be your young adult liberal ideology people. And so what does this mean for the church? Well, we're seeing, the older generation, their decline rate is a lot less than the younger generation. It's the younger generation that are not believing that there is a God, and we're seeing that in church attendance already, where parents who maybe were forced to go to church as a child, but they never really grew into their own relationship with God. They didn't really establish their own relationship with God. They don't prioritize church for their kids. And so now as their kids are entering middle school, senior high, going off to college, they're not going to church. They're not reading the Bible. They're not learning about God in that way. And what's going to happen is this decline we've seen already in the last 11 years, where it's dropped 11%. It's just going to continue to increase. So right now, those that believe in God, and again, this isn't just Christians, but people in general, those that believe in God, it continues to fall down, where eventually the majority will be those that don't believe in God. And so it's going to be harder for the church to minister, because it's a lot easier starting from someone who believes there is a God and then telling them, okay, this is what that God teaches, versus someone who doesn't even believe a God, because then you're starting even further back, where you're saying, okay, here's evidence that there is a God, and here is what that God teaches. And so it's going to be even harder to minister in that way, and we're going to see even more of a decline in the church as the overall belief in God continues to decline as well. And there's going to be even more side effects from that too. If there's less people that believe in God, then that means there's going to be less people reading the Bible. There's going to be less people preaching and teaching. And because that first one, there's less people reading the Bible, that means there's going to be more people who are teaching what God says wrongly, teaching it falsely. And so there's going to be even more false teaching and false teachers out there, because less people are believing in God and less people are reading the Bible, which is something we're already seeing. And so they're not keeping those teachers accountable, and seeing false teachers come around. So just a little thought, a little quick video for you. Tell people about God. Tell people about Jesus. Tell them He's there, He loves them, and He wants them for himself. So let them know. Thanks for watching.